Hello, dear viewers. Welcome back to our channel. We're so happy to see you again in a brand new video where we continue to follow the emotional and unexpected twists in the story of CEO Alex and the single mother Tuna. In the previous episode, after countless ups and downs, Tuna and her young daughter unexpectedly met Adam, a warm-hearted, kind man who seems to want to extend his arms to protect and care for the mother and child. So what will happen next? Will Tuna's life become more peaceful and stable thanks to Adam's sincere help? Or is this just a brief moment of calm before another storm rolls in? Is Adam simply a kind stranger who appeared by chance? Or is he the one destined to open a new chapter in their lives? Meanwhile, CEO Alex, the man who once deeply hurt Tuna, is torn between continuing or giving up the search for her. Deep down, can he truly forget the image of Tuna and their child? Love, responsibility, pain, and hope. All of these emotions are intertwined in this complicated relationship. Will Alex have the courage to face his past and fight to regain what he lost? Or will he choose to step back and accept the reality of losing them forever? This journey will take us through a wide range of emotions. There will be tears, there will be smiles, and there will be moments that tug at our hearts. Above all this is a story of choices, forgiveness, and the yearning to be loved. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the compelling developments in the story of CEO Alex and the strong, resilient, single mother, Tuna. Let's follow this journey together to see whether fate will bring them back together, or if this is simply a love that was never meant to be. After the fateful encounter at the abandoned lumberyard, a place where time seemed to stand still amid the cold, silent surroundings, Adam, with sincere eyes and a calm, gentle voice, softly suggested that Tuna and her child move to a safer place. It was a house he had poured his heart into, building for an elderly woman in need, a humble place, yet filled with warmth and compassion. Tuna hesitated for a moment. Throughout her journey as a single mother, she had learned to be wary of the world and of people who appeared kind on the surface. But Adam's gaze held no ulterior motives, and his words came without pressure. She glanced at her little daughter sleeping peacefully in her arms. The child's innocent face served as a quiet reminder she needed to find a truly safe haven for her baby. So, Tuna nodded. As they drove, Adam took his time. He didn't pry into her past, but instead shared stories about the elderly woman, someone who had lived alone in the house and regarded him like her own grandson. His voice was soothing, occasionally tinged with nostalgia, and he always wore a gentle smile. Tuna listened quietly, nodding occasionally, and slowly her guarded heart began to soften. When they arrived, a small tiled roof house stood before them, surrounded by a neat little garden filled with green vegetables. It wasn't luxurious or spacious, but everything felt orderly and inviting. As soon as the door opened, the elderly woman was already standing on the porch, a petite figure, her wrinkled face glowing with a kind expression, and her lips curved into a warm smile. Adam quickly introduced Tuna and her daughter to her. The woman's face lit up with joy as she grasped Tuna's hands tightly, as if reuniting with long-lost family. She bent down to greet the child who had just woken up and let out a delighted laugh. "Oh my, what an adorable little mouth," she exclaimed, reaching out gently to hold the baby in her arms. The atmosphere grew increasingly warm. In the small kitchen, The three of them sat down and talked for a long time. Adam quietly observed from the side, giving space for Tuna and the elderly woman to connect naturally. The woman shared stories of her years living alone in the house, the happy times, the lonely moments, and even the days when she only had a tabby cat for company. For the first time in a long while, Tuna opened up just a little about her journey. Not too much, but enough for the elderly woman to understand and grow fond of her. By the end of the conversation, the woman looked straight into Tuna's eyes, with a gaze as gentle as a stream. She spoke with all her heart. "From now on, you and your little one stay here, okay? Treat this as your home. I have no family nearby, and meeting you both feels like fate. I love you as if you were my own blood. From this day forward, we are family." Tuna couldn't hold back anymore. Tears streamed silently down her cheeks. How long had it been since anyone had called her family? How long had it been since she felt the warmth of belonging? Free of judgment, free of conditions, she embraced the elderly woman tightly, overwhelmed with gratitude. The little one nuzzled into the woman's chest, as if she too could sense the comforting safety all around her. From that day on, Tuna's life turned a new page. Each passing day in that little house was filled with laughter, sunlight, and simple yet precious moments. In the mornings, Tuna helped tend the garden and sweep the yard. At noon, they cooked together, preparing meals full of the flavors of family dishes Tuna hadn't tasted in what felt like ages. In the afternoons, the elderly woman often cradled the baby, singing lullabies or telling fairy tales, giving Tuna time to rest or mend clothes. Adam occasionally stopped by, bringing food, vitamins, or little gifts for the child. He didn't say much, just smiled each time he saw the three of them. 3 generations gathered together like a real family. Tuna gradually changed. Her once wary gaze softened. Her face became more radiant, her long hair now tied back neatly. She began to believe that perhaps, just perhaps, there were still good people in this world, and that maybe she too deserved a home. A place to belong. Each night, holding her child in her arms, she would glance toward the elderly woman's bed, where a lullaby was softly sung to the baby. In her heart, Tuna felt a surge of emotions, too complex to name: gratitude, longing, and a peace she hadn't known in years. In another place, CEO Alex still had not given up on his journey to find Tuna and her child. Since the day Tuna left the farm with her baby in her arms, Alex hadn't known a moment of peace. Every morning when he woke up, his eyes would drift to the stone bench where she used to sit. The spot still seemed to hold traces of her warmth. But now it was cold and empty. Those images played over and over in his mind. Tuna's gentle smile, the tender way she looked at her child, and the hurt in her eyes before she walked away. No one would recognize the once cold and powerful CEO Alex now. He had grown thin, frail, almost unrecognizable. His face was gaunt, his eyes ringed with dark circles from countless sleepless nights. Every spare moment he got in his car, holding a worn-out map, searching for the smallest clue. A crumpled note with an address, a forgotten receipt for baby formula, anything that might hint at where she had gone. He went everywhere, regardless of time or weather. There were days when heavy rain soaked through his shirt, but Alex still stood silently in front of a roadside convenience store, questioning every vendor, every child playing in the alley. He wandered down narrow lanes, into markets, inns, even poor neighborhoods, always with the same question: Have you seen a young mother with a baby about 1 year old? But everything was in vain. Shaking head short replies, "No, haven't seen anyone like that," were like needles piercing his heart. Hopeless, exhausted. But Alex didn't stop. There were nights when he fell asleep right in the car, head resting on the steering wheel. Dreams haunted by images of Tuna standing in the little flower garden on the farm, smiling gently as if she had never left. But when he woke up, only silence greeted him, the quiet night and the flickering lights from distant street lamps. One afternoon, as the sun dipped behind distant mountains, Alex found himself driving into a remote countryside. The dirt road stretched on endlessly, flanked by swaying rice fields. Inside the car there was no music, only silence and the heavy sound of the engine. His hands gripped the steering wheel tightly, mind clouded with thoughts. How far had he come? How much longer would it take to find them? And then on that long and empty road, tears suddenly rolled down his cheeks. There was no sobbing, no words spoken, just quiet tears falling without sound. Because of longing, because of love, because of remorse. He realized that what he was searching for wasn't just redemption. It was the aching memory that wouldn't fade, the desperate desire to hold them in his arms one more time, the overwhelming sense of having lost the most precious thing in his life, something no wealth or power could ever bring back. The memories came flooding in the day he turned his back on Tuna, leaving her with immeasurable pain. The day he let pride and ego cloud the true feelings in his heart. Alex gritted his teeth, holding the wheel tighter, whispering to himself, "I have to find them. No matter how long it takes, even if I have to go to the ends of the earth, I will find them." Even if he had to search every alley in the city, even if he had to question every stranger he met, CEO Alex would not stop. He had lost them once, and he would not allow himself to lose them again.
Ở nơi khác, kêu Alex vẫn không từ bỏ hành trình tìm kiếm mẹ con Tuna. Từ ngày Tuna bị con rời khỏi trang trại, trái tim Alex không có một ngày yên ổn. Mỗi sáng thức dậy, anh lại nhìn sang chiếc ghế đá nơi cô từng ngồi, bàn tay vẫn còn in rõ hơi ấm ngày nào. Nhưng giờ đã lạnh lẽo và trống rỗng. Những người này cứ lặp lại trong tâm trí anh, nụ cười dịu dàng của Tuna, ánh mắt hiền từ cô dành cho đứa bé, và cả anh mình tổn thương cô để lại trước khi rời đi. Không ai nhận ra keo lách lạnh lùng mạnh mẽ và trở nên gầy gò từ tụy đến lạnh. Còn anh nhóc khác, đôi mắt thâm quầng vì đêm không ngủ. Khi có thời gian, anh lại lên xe cầm bản đồ do từng dấu vết nhỏ nhất. Bất kỳ gợi ý nào có thể tìm thấy mẹ con Tuna.